walk with me. So I'm sort of curious about the sort of mental frameworks, tools, etc. that might be used to actually facilitate discourse that can move us forward as a society. I recently made a video regarding the trans discourse, inviting people to get curious about other people's perspectives, and instead of using perspectives to argue about the one true truth, to use perspective as a learning experience, to come into it with, what can I learn from this? How can I become more me from being exposed to this other person? And then that's where the framework came in, is we are accustomed to sharing our truth, but then posing that truth as evidence of the truth. That's typically what that is. We have a habit of making personal truth the universal truth, and that, it's not a moral failing. It's just a side effect. It's a symptom, one of many, of being in white colonial systems, right? Because white colonial systems historically will look outward, and then just based on looking outward, not really studying, not really empathizing, not really holding space for the fact that there are other ways of being and existing in the world, they'll say, well, they're not doing what I'm doing, so what they're doing must be wrong because my truth is the truth. It's narcissistic. It's quite narcissistic. Like, it cannot fathom that there are other ways of being, and that there are other truths that exist, and that multiple truths can be true at one time. And so it creates these systems that invite dissonance and that invite arguing and disharmony, because it's trying to collapse the human experience, a nebulous experience, into a box. It's trying to collapse everything into a one-dimensional thing where it's either this or that. You're either a man or a woman. You're either straight or you're gay. You're either this or that. And when people deviate, it gets crazy, it gets weird. And then even when you deviate, it's one is better than the other. The point of the labels, the point of it is to invite hierarchy. So I digress. So the point I'm getting at is I want to know what it looks like to relate to other people beyond these labels that were meant to divide, that were meant to incite hierarchy, that was based on a narcissistic worldview of my way is the way, and I'm gonna label your way without really understanding your way, just so that I can say that mine is better than yours. Like, that's not helpful, in a time where we got to start building new systems. We really got to lock in, because I be seeing news and stuff, like other countries are really in their bag in terms of connecting with nature and honoring the land, in terms of really respecting basic human rights. People love to talk about bare minimum in terms of dating. Babe, we don't even have bare minimum in terms of resources, like living resources. People are talking about their water is being contaminated by data centers. We have got to lock in. We got to stop playing into the narcissistic abuse of these systems and lock into, okay, how can I learn? How can I grow from this experience? How can I move forward and create the kind of world I want to see, create the kind of systems that respect life, because essentially the systems we're inhabiting don't respect life. They're fucking poisoning us, and that's the norm. It's time to lock in, and so the hope is that just having a framework for conversing that we can work off of might help. Having language that helps us hold each other's perspectives and experiences with regard and not need to collapse it into this or that. Hopefully that helps. But I don't know. If you have information, please share. A book, please share. For now, goodbye.